Chapter 61. A must-have tool for patrolling the Forbidden Forest at night. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Is everyone here? Filch asked at the door, a lamp in his hand, but Mrs. Norris did not follow him. It's all here. Aaron pointed to the people behind him, 2 Slytherins, 3 Gryffindors. If there are other unlucky ones, it's another matter. Let's go. Filch didn't say much, and led them out of the hall. It's a pity that we can't use the old-fashioned way of punishment. When I was in confinement, I had to tie my thumbs and hang them in the basement. I really miss those people. Scream. Is this too abnormal? Aaron asked meaningfully, are those punishments for teachers? As far as I know, the students in the school are all minors. What do you know? At least Hogwarts was the most stable during that time. There are not so many mischievous, night-out students like you. Filch sneered. I still have those chains in my office, and I often oil them, maybe someday. The 3 Gryffindors showed horror on their faces, and they all made a silent decision in their hearts. They couldn't make any more mistakes in the future, and even if they made mistakes, they would definitely not be caught by Filch. The current punishment is enough for them to drink a pot, but who knows if Filch will suddenly convulse and punish them in the old-fashioned way one day. Just listening to these few words will make their scalps feel numb. Draco also looked a little unnatural, but he was not worried. He had a rich and powerful father, and even decades ago, the school would not have dared to punish him. Aaron smiled indifferently. He was a man who obeyed the rules. Even if he broke the rules, Filch would not be able to catch him. What happened this time was a complete accident. They brought a professor to block the door. No one could stand it, and they had no chance to escape. Mr. Filch, I personally feel that Hogwarts can't tolerate you. Azkaban really needs talents like you. Filch's footsteps paused slightly. I also thought about being transferred there to be a jailer or something, but unfortunately I'm not needed there, and their methods of treating prisoners are much more cruel, which I will never be able to achieve. The corner of Aaron's mouth twitched. He just said that symbolically. Dare this guy really have this idea? Several people walked out of the castle, walked through a meadow in the dark, and came to the outskirts of the Forbidden Forest. The illuminated windows of Hagrid's hut were particularly conspicuous in the night. What are we doing here? Draco asked. Aren't we in confinement? Yes. I'm in confinement. Filch had a gleam of joy on his face. Didn't Professor McGonagall tell you? This forest is your confinement room, and you are contracted by it. You're going to be with Hagrid tonight. He just has a little business to attend to. It's okay. Harry secretly breathed a sigh of relief in his heart. With Hagrid leading this confinement, it should be easier. Forbidden Forest. Draco's expression changed wildly, his voice trembling. Aaron, please tell me this is a joke. We can't go there, let alone go there in the middle of the night. Are you afraid? Ron teased. Malfoy is afraid of a forest. Aren't you afraid? Aaron asked meaningfully, and then gave a thumbs up, as expected of Weasley. You are really brave. I hope you won't be scared to pee your pants in a while. What do you mean? Weasley, you idiot, Dumbledore clearly said that students cannot enter this forest. Do you think this is a joke? Let me tell you generously, this forest is very dangerous, even there are werewolves. As soon as Draco finished speaking, a howl of wolves came from the Forbidden Forest, probably because the full moon piercing through the clouds stimulated them to transform. Ron shivered, subconsciously clenched his sleeves tightly, and dared not say anything. There are not only werewolves in the woods. Filch turned around and made a knife, that's for sure. Hagrid walked out of the hut, holding a lantern of the same style as Filch's, followed by his pet fawn. There were light tears on his face, as if he had just cried. It's a bunch of troublemakers, Hagrid, said Filch. Hagrid didn't speak, but took a choked breath, as if he had suffered some great grievance. He walked to the fire, put a bag of arrows on his shoulder, and checked the crossbow again. My God! Are you still sad for that dragon? Hagrid raised his head and glanced at Filch. Noble is gone, and Dumbledore arranged for him to go to Romania to live in groups. That's not very good. Aaron smiled. It can be with its kind, and you don't have to worry about being unable to support it. let alone worry about whether your house will be demolished suddenly by it. Standing and talking doesn't hurt your back. Hagrid looked at Abe, who was following Aaron's feet. Are you willing to let Abe leave you to live in a group? Don't even think about it, it was raised by me. Then it's over. Norbert is still a baby. What if other dragons bully him? What if it doesn't like living in groups? Ah. Aaron frowned. Actually, you can think about it like this. Maybe it likes to live in groups, and maybe other dragons will protect that little baby. Hagrid nodded, but the frustration on his face didn't dissipate in the slightest. I said okay, you have to cheer up and don't be sad, you have to go to the Forbidden Forest in a while. Filch said as he turned around and glanced at several people. Good night, I hope you can come out safe and sound, otherwise I have to go in to collect your corpses. After speaking, Filch was about to walk towards the castle. Wait. Aaron stopped him. Is there a problem? If you ask me, you should die. The punishment was set by Professor McGonagall, and I can't undo it. No, Mr. Filch, you have misunderstood, the Forbidden Forest can't scare me. In fact, I wanted to go in and have a look during the Christmas holidays, but Professor McGonagall disagreed at that time. Then what are you calling me for? Filch asked puzzledly. You didn't mean to let me go in with you. That's really fantastic. No. Aaron shook his head, pointing to the lamp Filch was carrying. I just want that. It was the middle of the night, and the place we were going to was a dark forest. One light for 6 people was clearly not enough. Oh. Filch suddenly realized, but what does it matter to me? You asked for all this, didn't you? You should have thought of the present before you got into trouble. Yes, you are right, you have to consider the consequences before doing bad things, but aren't we being punished now? All it takes is a little lantern, don't you agree? No, of course I won't agree. Filch sneered. I don't have any sympathy for students who make mistakes, so don't expect me to help you, even a little bit. Forget it, Aaron, there's no need to look for him. Draco said angrily. Pull it down. The danger of this forest will increase significantly at night. If you can't see clearly, you may walk into the lair of some ferocious beast. No, the creatures in the Forbidden Forest will give me face. Hagrid puffed out his chest proudly. He had a good relationship with the creatures in the Forbidden Forest, so he said this confidently. Animals give you face, but what about plants? You should know that animals are not the only dangers in a forest. Hagrid froze for a moment, thinking of the various injuries he had suffered because of the uneven road conditions in the Forbidden Forest. He didn't know how to refute, but in this way, another lamp is necessary. Filch, look at this. Hagrid, you don't have to persuade me, don't blame me for not giving you face. I'll buy it. Aaron said bluntly. This is property assigned to me by the school, and I have no right to sell it to you. Then rent the head office. Humph. I don't agree. Aaron raised a finger. 1 galleon for 1 night. I admit that the price is fair, but I am not short of this money. 5 galleons. This. Filch hesitated. He had nothing to spend, and he had saved a sum of money in Hogwarts for so many years, which was enough for his retirement, but no one would dislike a lot of money. But seeing 5 students who made mistakes in front of him, he still gritted his teeth. It's not about money. 10 galleons, if you don't agree, forget it. The big deal is that I will suffer a bit at that time, and I will use the fluorescent spell to illuminate, and I will still know this spell. Wait, deal. Filch quickly put the oil lamp in Aaron's hand, for fear that he would regret it. Wait for a while. Aaron lifted Abe up, and put his hand into the pocket of his clothes under its reluctant gaze. After groping for a while, he took out a handful of galleons, no more, no less, exactly 10. After the transaction was completed, Filch swayed away into the night with a handful of gold coins in his hand, while Aaron had an extra lantern emitting light in his hand. Chapter 62 There are unknown enemies. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The Forbidden Forest is composed of countless towering giant trees and various plants. The thin mist in the night makes it look even more gloomy, especially the howling of wolves from a distance from time to time makes several people feel uneasy. Hagrid took the lead, and he led several people along a path into the forest, heading deep. Aaron was very glad that he rented a lamp, otherwise he might not even be able to see the road clearly. After walking for an unknown amount of time, Hagrid frowned when he saw a puddle of viscous silver liquid on the ground in front of him. "What's this?" Harry asked. "Unicorn blood, I've seen it before." Aaron knelt down and rubbed it with his fingers. The blood is very fresh, and the preliminary judgment is that he was seriously injured. "He's right, a unicorn died a few weeks ago. The state of death was particularly miserable, and half of the blood in his body was almost drained. This is the second head. All we have to do is find the poor guy and protect it." "It's not easy." Aaron thought for a while and said meaningfully, "This forest is very dangerous now, and I'm afraid it's not just animals and plants. I suggest punishing us at another time, preferably during the day." "Yeah. It's convenient during the day, and you don't need to carry a lamp," Hagrid said, "but the unicorn can't wait that long. One night is enough to change its state from serious injury to death. But I don't think we 5 wizards are any less safe than a unicorn." Draco's complexion changed slightly, and he couldn't help swallowing. "What do you mean?" "Don't scare me. Calm down, at least we are safe now." Aaron patted him on the shoulder and explained, "Unicorns are noble, and under normal circumstances this forest will not harm it, and even some creatures will protect it, but according to Hagrid, one of them had already died, and the second one was in a rather poor condition. It's too abnormal for 2 unicorns to be attacked in a short period of time. That's why we came here. Hagrid took it for granted, that unicorn needs our help, so please be more sympathetic." The corner of Aaron's mouth twitched. "No one is more loving than me, but the situation is different now. There must be alien creatures in the Forbidden Forest. The strength is not weak. No one knows whether he will attack us or not." "How do you know?" Harry asked. "It's all speculation, and we're following Hagrid, so we're safe." Aaron pointed to the silver blood on the ground. "The blood of unicorns can prolong life, and before this, there should have been no unicorns being attacked or even killed one after another in the Forbidden Forest. When things go wrong, it means that something is out of control, and the unknown is the most terrifying." After the voice fell, the faces of several people were a little unnatural. They admitted that they were frightened, and it was not difficult for them to guess from Aaron's words who was hunting the unicorn for its blood, and those who can be so arrogant in the Forbidden Forest are definitely not ordinary people. If they meet, they will not be opponents. "Hagrid." Ron looked at him pleadingly. "Can we exit this forest? Anyway, there are only a few of us here. If you don't tell us, no one will know." "No, if you say confinement, it is confinement. Professor McGonagall has already scolded me because of Norbert's affairs, and Dumbledore was also caught off guard and flustered. I also want face, and I can no longer favoritism." Ron lowered his head bitterly, and the others also had heavy faces, knowing that they couldn't escape this time. "Don't worry too much, maybe it's a unicorn attacked by a werewolf." "A werewolf? This is even worse. Today's moon is still very round, and the werewolf's fighting power will be even more violent." Draco took a step back subconsciously. His back felt a little chilly. He originally thought that confinement meant being locked up in a small dark room to write and inspect, but this confinement was completely beyond his expectations. It is outrageous enough that the small black room has turned into a forbidden forest, but now writing and inspection has become a search for a seriously injured and dying unicorn, and it may be attacked in the process, which is even more outrageous. It is unacceptable, and instinctively wants to resist. "Okay. I know what we're going to do tonight will be dangerous, and I don't want to put anyone in danger, but this is your punishment in the first place, and you can't escape it. The problem is that this time the danger is unknown." Hagrid froze for a moment, then stared at Aaron seriously. "If everything is already known, what do we need? The Forbidden Forest is already very dangerous. Didn't Filch say he would collect your corpses? You don't think he's joking, do you? In addition, even if there are unknown creatures, I can guarantee that they will not be more dangerous than the dark creatures in the Forbidden Forest." "Okay." Aaron spread his hands helplessly. "You are right, we asked for this." Hearing this, Hermione looked frustrated and subconsciously bit her lip. if she hadn't kidnapped Abe, Draco wouldn't have found out, Aaron wouldn't have violated the school rules, and they wouldn't have been caught by Filch and Professor McGonagall. In the final analysis, she has to bear a large part of the responsibility for them to have today. As long as you know, now we split into 2 groups to find, along the blood trail. Wait, we still need to divide into groups? Draco asked in surprise, don't you tell me that Gryffindor is a group and Slytherin is a group? It's not fair, there are twice as many of you as we are, and we'd be in danger. I didn't say that. As long as you stay with me or Fong, the creatures of the Forbidden Forest will not harm you, and I'm being fair, you, Ron, Harry with me, Hermione, Aaron, Fong. Hagrid blinked at Hermione as he spoke, and quietly made an okay gesture. By the way, the opportunity is given to you, it is up to you whether you can seize it or not. Hermione cast a grateful look and nodded heavily. I didn't have time yesterday, but today I have plenty of time. Anyway, I have to apologize first. I don't agree. Aaron said, this group makes people feel particularly awkward. I suggest changing the group. What happened last night made me very unhappy, and it was not easy to let go. If Hermione and I form a team, it may affect the unity within the team, which is very detrimental. Hagrid paused, glanced at Hermione whose eyes were slightly red, took a deep breath and said, rejected, the objection is invalid, I am in charge of your confinement, and you must obey me. Oh. Hagrid, what you're doing now will only make me suspect that you have ulterior motives. I thought you were a just man, now it seems that I was wrong. Hagrid hesitated, his heart at war with heaven and man. He did have a little selfishness in arranging Hermione and Aaron together, and wanted to clear up the misunderstanding between them. After all, he was only a 12-year-old child, so he couldn't say anything clearly. As long as Hermione apologizes sincerely, the relationship will slowly recover after a while, and Aaron doesn't seem to be such a grudge. But now there is an extra hat called Justice on his head, and this hat has a tendency to fly away, which makes him very uncomfortable. The team formation between you and Hermione was decided by me. If you think it's unfair, I can assign you another person. This is already the limit. Aaron didn't raise any objections. Hagrid had already talked about this point, so he had to be more sensible and give the other party a face. Ron, it's definitely not possible. Aaron glanced at him with some disgust, and then set his sights on Harry Potter. It's too troublesome. I have a hunch that it will be particularly troublesome to form a team with you. Then there is no choice. Draco laughed. Sure enough, Slytherin is trustworthy. No, don't think too much, there are actually other options. Aaron poured a basin of cold water on him. Hagrid, you and Fong should change. Me? Hagrid froze for a moment, then immediately waved his hands and said, this is not allowed, absolutely not. With the abilities of the 3 of them, the danger level will be greatly increased without me. Still Malfoy, he is more suitable for your team. This is okay, it's better than the other 2. The corners of Draco's eyes twitched slightly, and he somehow felt as if he had been rejected. Okay, next, we will divide into 2 groups, shoot green sparks if anyone finds the unicorn, and red sparks if they're in trouble. We'll come over to meet up right away, okay, be careful. After Hagrid finished speaking, he took Harry and Ron to the left path, leaving the right path to Aaron, Hermione and Draco. Aaron took a deep breath, put Abe on top of his head, and then looked at Hermione and Draco. Listen to my command tonight, do you have any objections? No, I'm definitely listening to you. Draco patted his chest and said, Aaron was better than him in all aspects, and he was not unconvinced. I listen to you too. Hermione said immediately. You? Draco looked at her suspiciously. It would be nice if you ran away without leaving us alone when you encounter danger. I won't, definitely not. Who knows? Enough, that's why I don't want to be grouped, it's too much trouble. What do you 2 have to say back? Now that we are in the Forbidden Forest, can we keep a low profile? Hermione and Draco looked at each other and closed their mouths in unison. Now it's right, listen to me now, check your shoes, and fasten those with laces. Aaron said and squatted down to tie his shoelaces to death. Hermione didn't talk nonsense and just followed suit, Draco was a little puzzled. Tie your shoelaces. Can you tell me why? It's convenient to escape. You don't really think that the dog Yaya will be all right here. Chapter 63. It's impossible to run quietly. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Holding a lamp, Aaron led Draco and Hermione through the forest. Yaya and Abe followed both sides of the team, and the two pets kept a certain distance and did not invade each other. I hope that unicorn is not on this road, otherwise we will be in big trouble. Aaron looked at the speckled silver blood stains scattered on the road, his face darkened, but it is very likely that things will backfire. It seems that it is seriously injured, and it is still running at a high speed when it is seriously injured. Draco said, analyzing, it can't really be a werewolf, right? No, Hagrid lied to you too, the speed of werewolves may not be as fast as unicorns. I have also paid some attention to this forest, but I have never heard of rumors that unicorns were hurt or even killed, so, be prepared, the unicorn may be in danger. If we happen to be lucky enough to encounter a creature that hurt it, then, it's time to test our physical strength. Both Hermione and Draco looked down at their shoes, making sure that nothing happened to them while running. Aaron, Hermione glanced at Draco aside, took a deep breath after a few seconds of embarrassment. I apologize, what happened last night, I'm really sorry, I shouldn't have done that. Aaron nodded, and continued walking forward with a lamp. Say something anyway. Hermione said aggrievedly, she would rather be scolded than Aaron treat her with this attitude. It's so bland, it's like treating her like a stranger. What do you want me to say? You know you shouldn't do it, but you do it anyway. Do you know how much I tried to hide Abe's identity? I carry it with me every day, wrapped tightly around my body. The college professors and even Dumbledore didn't see any flaws, but I didn't expect you to expose it in just one night. I'm sorry. Hermione sincerely bowed her head and apologized, her voice aggrieved, and her eyes were slightly red. Snapped. Aaron shook his head helplessly, and sighed, okay, can't I forgive you? Really? Hermione wept with joy, and the suppressed tears finally burst at this moment, continuously streaming down from the corners of her eyes. She felt a lot lighter, and the heavy heart of being deducted 50 points disappeared. Aaron, you just forgave her like that? Draco asked puzzled, aren't you being too soft-hearted? Forgiveness for wrongs, without blame, without punishment, is forgiveness, but forgiving doesn't mean I'll forget about it, so you understand? I seem to understand. Draco nodded half understanding. Granger, do you understand? Of course I understand. Hermione chuckled, she knows the truth very well. Forgiving is one thing, but letting go is another. However, this result was within her expectations. Forgiveness is the prerequisite for repairing the relationship, which is much better than being cold-faced all the time. Several people continued to walk through the dark and dense forest. Yaya sniffed the scent, and at some point he came to the front of the team. The blood stains on the ground became more and more cloudy, and the three of them became more nervous. Roar! Abe let out a low growl suddenly, and the whole dragon became vigilant, with a pair of eyes constantly looking around. What's wrong with it? Draco asked. Aaron picked up Abe, pressed the lantern down, and reminded in a low voice, be careful, squat down, there's something evil about it, and it's all around us. Gollum! Hermione swallowed, you mean, he's around us? Are you sure you didn't make a mistake? No, my Abe's perception of darkness is still very keen. At the same time, Yaya also stopped, growled and stared straight ahead. The thick trees and vines on the ground were tangled, and a large silver-white bloodstain was particularly conspicuous under the moonlight. In addition, there were obvious drag marks in front of it. It is not difficult to see that the poor unicorn has struggled violently here, but the result does not seem to be very good. There was a lower open space in front of the vines, and a weird sound came from the open space, as if sucking something, which made several people's scalps tingle. It's just ahead, should we go over and have a look? Hermione asked hesitantly. Are you crazy? Draco lowered his voice and said nervously, let's take a detour, or just turn around and pretend we didn't see anything. Send the signal. Is it here? Aaron, calm down, you must calm down, we are here for confinement, there is no need to risk our lives, and we must not be impulsive. But there's a unicorn whose life and death are uncertain. It's fine if we die, we turn around and run, but what if we're alive? If it is still alive, and we just leave quietly, then it really can only wait for death in despair. Aaron said as he took out his wand, and a ball of green light shone on it. But it's dangerous, not an ordinary danger. I never thought we'd have anything like this at Hogwarts. I know, you run as far away as possible. I will stay here to signal. If it is far away, it may not be deterrent, and he can take the unicorn away at any time. In short, when you see the flames rising, you will retreat without hesitation. We can't leave you here alone, Hermione said seriously. The awareness is good, but it's just a burden for you to stay. Moreover, to tell you something you don't want to hear, you may not run as fast as me. Draco and Hermione looked at each other, nodded, and were about to back away quietly, making as little noise as possible. However, after taking a few steps back, Yaya suddenly sneezed and let out a dull, thunderous bark. The movements of the two stopped for an instant, and Aaron also looked at the Neapolitan Mastiff in astonishment. It probably didn't sneeze on purpose, but at this point no one cares if it did. They only knew that it was impossible to retreat quietly. This barking has already attracted the attention of the creatures in the open space, and the scalp-numbing sucking sound suddenly stopped, replaced by a rustling sliding sound. A black figure wearing a hood slowly crawled out of the open space, gradually approaching the three of them like a ghost. Run! Aaron yelled. A green flame shot into the sky, followed by a red spark. 2 sparks appeared over the forbidden forest almost at the same time, which meant that the unicorn was found, and the creature that harmed it was also found. But. No but. Hermione was interrupted by Aaron before she finished speaking. Running is the wisest decision at this time. Before the words fell, Yaya was the first to step on 4 short legs, bursting out at an extraordinary speed, and ran desperately. Draco followed, screaming and running away. Aaron didn't stand in a daze either. He used all his energy to keep exercising for what? Isn't it just for today? But he stopped after a few steps, turned his head to look at Hermione who was motionless. Run, what are you waiting for? My legs are weak. Hermione said without tears. She also wanted to escape from this eerie place as soon as possible, but when the black-robed figure with silver blood stained at the corner of her mouth came out, her body was not in control, and her legs were as heavy as lead. She had seen many ghosts, but the fear brought to her by this black-robed figure was far from what those ghosts could compare. Aaron. Gift crab. It's time for your legs to be weak. I don't want to either. Hermione choked up and said, why don't you run away first and leave me alone? Don't cry, I can't leave you here as a girl no matter what. Unlucky 2 nights in a row, there is really no one. Aaron said as he walked a few steps forward, looking at the man in black robe standing up in front of him. He also had some guesses in his heart. At the current stage, there is only one estimate that Hogwarts needs to drink unicorn blood to maintain life. It seems that the Dark Lord is indeed at the end of his life, but even if the opponent is in this state, he is not sure that he can beat the opponent, so he can only adapt to the situation. Sure enough, it's still too weak. If it's strong enough, I wouldn't put my hope on others. Aaron whispered, his desire for strength reached the extreme. Accept your weapons. A bright red light flashed, hitting the hooded figure. However, the effect was not obvious. The opponent just took 2 steps back and continued to move forward like a normal person. I knew it would be like this. Aaron smiled bitterly, the right hand holding the wand even trembled slightly, and then roared, disarm you. The man in black dismissed it, and even dodged lazily, but when the red light was about to hit, he seemed to have sensed some danger, and his body leaned back very strangely to pass the curse. Boom. The curse hit a birch tree, and the place where it was hit was covered with cracks, extending from the center to all sides, so fragile that it seemed that a light push could knock it down. Torn apart. An extremely hoarse voice came from the black robe. It's a pity that it didn't hit. Even if you hit it, it's useless. The man in black sneered, you are too weak, and the power of the spell you released is not a threat to me. I know. Aaron didn't take it seriously. People who can hunt unicorns will not be defeated by such a spell. I just want to buy some time to escape, but now it seems to have failed, but it doesn't matter. Chapter 64 Escaping is also a skill. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Actually, we can talk. Aaron pretended to be calm. I have sent the signal just now, and Hagrid will be here soon, so. So, do you want me to let you go? No, what I mean is that if you are captured without a fight, I can let you live in the name of the Gaius family. I think the Ministry of Magic will give our family this face. You don't have to go to Azkaban, and you can retire in a more normal prison. Interesting. The hoarse voice came out again, and the man in black seemed to be more interested in Aaron, and moved forward a few steps. You don't seem to be very clear about your current situation. Actually, I know very well. Aaron was very calm, and with his free left hand, he made a roundabout gesture behind his back. Abe, who had been acting as a little transparent, turned around immediately when he saw it, and ran fast. As soon as the man in black noticed the change here, Aaron diverted his attention and said, 2 first-year wizards, facing a terrifying black wizard, usually have only one dead end, but now there are some variables. Hagrid will come over at some point. I think in your current half-dead state, you shouldn't choose to fight a wizard with giant blood. You are very smart, and in the current situation I will not make enemies for myself, but I'm sure I can kill 1 or 2 ants before he comes. The man in black sneered. Then try it. Aaron said boldly. He knew very well that he must not show timidity in this situation, otherwise he would be finished if the opponent seized the opportunity. It is impossible to expect the Dark Lord to be kind, even if he is merciful. It is only when his body and mind are normal, but now people have degenerated to drink the blood of unicorns to maintain their lives, which can be described as psychologically twisted and perverted to the extreme. Compassion or something, there is absolutely no such possibility. Have guts. The man in black continued to walk forward slowly, but he stopped after a few steps, because Aaron had a white magic wand in his left hand, which made him hesitate and fearful. I met a genius. No one knows the gold content of a genius better than him, because he is a genius and knows the ability of a genius very well. His experience has also entered the top 10 in the magic world. He has seen many wandless spellcasters, and he himself is one of them. But this is the first time he has seen someone who can use 2 wands at the same time. This kind of talent is quite rare, but it is undeniable that people with this kind of talent have great potential. He is in extremely poor condition now, and it is not an exaggeration to describe him as lingering. If he capsized in the gutter, it would be too aggrieved. Ha ha ha. I didn't expect that I would sometimes go astray. I thought you were just an excellent but ordinary student, but now it seems that the word excellent is no longer worthy of you. It is a good habit to know how to hide clumsiness at a young age. Should I say thank you for the compliment? You can go, but she has to stay. Hermione shuddered, took out her wand tremblingly, and desperately recalled those offensive spells in her mind. Sitting and waiting to die, no one will choose this path except those who are desperate for life. You should fight or you have to fight. Why? Aaron asked puzzled. She's just an ordinary wizard with muggle parents. She is useless, but you are. The man in black said meaningfully, his voice full of delusion, you are extremely talented, have unlimited future, and are extremely valuable. I want you to choose the right path, but it needs a little introduction. Hearing this, Aaron took a deep look at Hermione, as if trying to understand something. Abandoning his companions and running alone, it is estimated that the condemnation of conscience will be inevitable in the future. This is the first step of degeneration. When a good person feels guilty, if he can't make up for this spiritual hole for a long time, he can only be a bad person. Fuck. Pervert, you, but I may disappoint you. Even if I run away, I will only put my hatred on you, and I will not feel guilty. The man in black didn't pay attention, and just asked, should I live alone or stay and die with her? Aaron rubbed his chin, frowning. This is a profound question. I need some time to think about it. It's okay, think about it slowly. The man in black said as he walked towards Hermione slowly. Stop. Aaron pointed at him with his wand immediately. Back, don't come over. Humph. Doesn't it look down on me to delay time in this way? The man in black robe said with more anger, you'd better make a choice before I kill her, otherwise you won't be able to escape. That means there's nothing to discuss. Aaron said coldly, "Don't think I'm afraid of you, no matter how powerful you were in the past. Now you are just a rat who hangs on the blood of unicorns and dare not even show your face. To be honest, I really didn't take you seriously." Looking for death. Enraged, the man in black turned his head and flew towards Aaron. Just now, he wanted to train Aaron well, and with the aptitude of this young wizard, he would be able to take charge of himself in a short time, becoming his right-hand man and his confidant. But now he has changed his mind. No one has ever dared to insult him like this, never. Before subduing this genius, he still has to suppress it. Being too defiant is not a good thing. "Do it!" Alan yelled, with an order. Abe, who walked around behind the man in black, quickly switched to combat mode, and slapped the back of the man's head fiercely with his paw. "Aw!" A very shrill scream came from the black robe, echoing continuously in the forbidden forest. "Abe, get out of the way, fall apart, fall apart, fall apart." Taking advantage of your illness and killing you, Aaron made a decisive decision, stretched out his hands, and cast several spells while the opponent was wailing. However, the black-robed man's reaction ability was much stronger than he thought. He cast 6 spells in a row, but the opponent avoided 5 of them, and only the last one sent him flying to the tree. But as the man in black robe said, the damage his spell caused to the man in black robe was very limited. At most it only made him feel the pain of tearing his body, and the time was still very short. "Run, run!" Aaron didn't care so much. He just grabbed Hermione's right hand and ran in the direction he came from. At this time, he regretted why he gave the magic carpet to Professor McGonagall. This kind of escape weapon should be carried with him in the future, but the next moment, he threw this idea away. Because the man in black was chasing them by flying, he didn't have to watch the road, and he didn't have to worry about the trees, vines, shrubs, and all kinds of potholes in the forbidden forest. His speed was much faster than Aaron's. Gift crab. Cheating. Aaron couldn't help but swear, "I must learn this flying magic in the future." But seeing the man in black getting closer and closer to him, Aaron was also very anxious. He knew that he should have cast a few more spells on him just now, and he could delay it by a second. Whoosh. The sound of the wind hit Aaron's back, and he quickly pulled Hermione to squat down. Black shadows passed over the heads of the two, and when they stood up, the man in black was already standing in front of them. "Ha ha ha." Aaron smiled awkwardly. Actually, it was just a misunderstanding. Misunderstanding, it hurts. The man in black sneered, "Do you want me to break you apart too?" "No, it's more suitable for you to be broken into pieces." "You're stingy, aren't you? A dark wizard like you must have been famous in the past. You can't have the same knowledge as a 12-year-old kid like me. Slick tongue won't save you. Since you don't want to give up this girl's life, then you both die together." "I don't die that easily," Aaron said very calmly. Ever since he knew he was going to face the Dark Lord, he had the cheek to ask for a life-saving magic item from home, but that thing is more precious, and it is really not worth the loss to waste it at this time, and he is one reluctant to part with it. "Really? I'm really curious how you keep this Gryffindor." Aaron froze for a moment, feeling a headache. He was not sure of his life running alone, and now he still had a big oil bottle. Hermione Granger. "Ah. I am here. I'll help you delay for a while. You have to run as fast as you can in a while. Don't look back. Can it be done?" Impossible. How can I let you face him alone?" "Aaron, don't be funny. Do you have to let me say you are a burden?" "Forget it, then please take my pet and hide aside to go to the head office," Aaron said and winked at Abe. "Don't worry, be ready to run away at any time." Hermione nodded and was about to pick Abe up, but the dragon, who had suffered a huge loss, naturally avoided her palm, raised his head proudly and squatted under a tree. Hermione withdrew her right hand resentfully, looked at Aaron worriedly, and stood aside. "I'm curious, how are you going to hold me back?" The black-robed man's voice was cold, even a little impatient. "I'm going to duel you, in wizard fashion, bet the reputation of the Gaius family. If I lose, I will give you my life, but if I get away with winning, you'll have to let us go," Aaron said righteously, ready to take off the ring on his left hand that sealed half of the magic energy at any time. This is one of his trump cards. He didn't want to expose it so early, but now it's true, whether the Dark Lord agrees or not, he has to surprise the opponent again. This is the last chance. Chapter 65. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The black-robed man paused for a moment, and the cold murderous aura around him subsided a lot. A duel between wizards. Okay, I promise you. As soon as the black-robed man finished speaking, his body trembled involuntarily, and a pleading voice came from his mind, Master, we don't need to waste time on these two people, kill them quickly, that unicorn. Shut up, it's not your turn to teach me how to do things. The black-robed man said angrily, and the voice in his head fell silent instantly. What's wrong with you? Aaron was thoughtful, but his eyes were full of puzzlement. Nothing, let's start when you're ready. Wait a minute. Aaron took a deep breath and took out a small transparent bottle from his pocket, Felicity Elixir. After drinking it, you will have good luck within 12 hours, he has always been reluctant to use this thing, but now is definitely the most suitable time, because if he uses it, the chance of escaping will be better, and if he doesn't use it, he may never have the chance in his life. After Aaron took a sip, he carefully put away the bottle. What is that? I spent a lot of money to find someone to make the potion that replenishes the magic power, but it's only useful for people below the senior magician. Aaron said nonsense seriously, and then took out the bottle pretending to be generous. Do you need it? That if you need to speak up, don't be shy. Wizard duels are all about fairness, although you are far ahead of me in terms of age, magical power, knowledge, experience, etc. I don't mind giving you a little more advantage. The man in black froze for a few seconds. To be honest, he had some doubts that what was in the bottle wasn't some kind of magical healing potion, but what Aaron said made him feel embarrassed to ask again. The dignified Dark Lord also needs face, and the other party put the family's reputation on the line, so he must not be stingy, at least he must not be suspected of cheating in the duel. Furthermore, the strength of the Gaius family has always been a mystery, but Aaron is only a 12-year-old child. What kind of treasure can he have? Even if there is, he may not like it, unless it's something that can replenish vitality and solve his urgent needs. It's worth his face to shoot, but when Aaron drank the stuff just now, he couldn't feel any breath of life at all, and he was sure that the stuff didn't help him at all. No, I don't need it. Don't you need it? Aaron breathed a sigh of relief in his heart, but his face became more serious. I'm sorry, I apologize to you for my behavior just now. Don't delay, let's get started. The black-robed man's tone also calmed down. I've got you all settled, I still have work to do. Okay, Aaron said, dragging his wand in front of him in respect, but just after he finished this action, he looked at the black-robed man in front of him angrily. You humiliated me, where is your wand? Do you think I am already like this? Can I still use a magic wand? Said the man in black robe, don't underestimate me, I can still cast spells without a wand. Just kidding, he is possessing someone else now. If he uses a magic wand, that person will be exposed. Unless he killed these two people and that magical creature who didn't know what it was tonight, there would be endless troubles and even affect his next plan. But Aaron really gave him a long-lost feeling, and it would be a pity to die. He still wanted to subdue him. And the first step to subdue this little wizard was to defeat him with absolute strength. Geniuses are proud and arrogant, but geniuses are also admired by other geniuses. The Dark Lord is still very confident in his charisma. Although he is dying now, he believes that it is only a matter of time before he returns, but those former followers may not all be reliable. He needs to cultivate new blood. Forget it, let's continue. Aaron put down his wand and slowly stepped back. In a formal duel, both parties need to go to both ends of the field to start fighting, and they happen to be in a small open space, which can barely be used as a ring. The man in black attached great importance to this duel etiquette, which Aaron hadn't thought of, but it gave him more opportunities. As Aaron stepped back, he inadvertently took off the ring on his left hand. The best time to make a surprise attack is when you have retreated to the penultimate step. At that time, the opponent is the most vigilant, but also the most unexpected. Aaron can be sure that the arrogant Dark Lord would never think that he would dare to play like this. After all, his previous performance was too confusing, and his acting skills are full, although the means are somewhat shameless. But a small life is a big deal. One of the ancestral precepts summed up by the ancestors of the Gaius family is this: Nothing is more important than life, and sometimes you can do anything. For life, although he didn't know which ancestor's famous quote it was, and it had nothing to do with honor, but he especially liked this kind of straightforwardness, especially at this moment. This sentence is simply the truth: there is still a chance to come back alive, but if you die, let alone a comeback, there is not even a coffin board. The opponent can bully the small with the big, so can't he not talk about martial arts? There are still 7 steps, 6 steps, 5 steps to the edge of the clearing. Aaron's heart reached his throat. He had already taken off the ring on his left hand, and the mana in his body had also been crazily replenished, but he didn't dare to be careless at all. Finally, at the penultimate step, Aaron quickly raised his wand, ready to use all his strength to smash the man in black to pieces. If you can't hit a hit, you turn around and run. Now that you have opened up a little distance, you can still run a few more steps. But if you are lucky and hit it, you will make up a few more knives, and then run away. I took a sip of Felicia before the war for now. Aaron, Hermione, are you there? Hagrid's voice suddenly came from not far away. His huge body was moving quickly, crackling through the low bushes. Behind him followed an exhausted Harry and Ron, and Draco. At the same time, Aaron also released a bone-crushing spell, which hit the man in black. However, when he heard Hagrid's voice, he withdrew part of his strength in time, and did not burst out to his true level. What? There was a shrill scream, and the man in black felt great pain, but he didn't dare to stay for a moment. He flew in the opposite direction at high speed, and soon disappeared into the night. Aaron looked at this scene in a daze, thinking that the effect of Felicity Elixir might be too good. If I knew I should have a drink before entering the Forbidden Forest, I might not even meet this man in black. Where are people? Hagrid asked pantingly. The crossbow in his hand was ready to go. Do you still need to ask? Of course he ran away. Then are you all right? What do you think? If I didn't think fast enough and delayed for so much time, maybe the 2 of us would die. Aaron said angrily, of course, I may not die, but Hermione will definitely not live. Hearing this, Hagrid couldn't help feeling a little guilty. It was he who proposed to divide the troops into 2 groups, but he didn't expect the danger to be so great. When he saw 2 flames appearing in the sky above the Forbidden Forest, he started to rush towards this direction frantically, and happened to bump into Malfoy, who was running wildly on the way. Knowing that there is a strange man in black who is sucking the blood of a unicorn, his speed has increased a lot, but this is a Forbidden Forest after all, and he had to limit the speed after falling twice. Sorry. Hagrid said a little ashamedly, I shouldn't be in groups, so at least you won't be in danger. No, Hagrid, this has nothing to do with you. Hermione comforted. No one thought that there was such a monster in the Forbidden Forest. I reminded him. I said that there are uncertain factors in the Forbidden Forest recently, so I shouldn't come here tonight, but Hagrid didn't seem to take my words to heart. I'm sorry. The honest giant lowered his head again. It's all my fault. Humph. You should be blamed. If you hadn't insisted on going your own way, we wouldn't have encountered such danger. Hagrid, you should be thankful that there were no casualties, otherwise you would have spent the rest of your life in Azkaban. Even Dumbledore may not be able to keep you. Aaron, it's almost enough for you. Hagrid already knows he was wrong. Hermione said a little reluctantly. Hey. Hermione, don't forget who saved you, and we've only narrowly escaped death. Can't I complain? If it wasn't for Yaya's sneezing, we might be able to escape unscathed, if you hadn't suddenly. Having said this, Aaron suddenly paused. He was afraid that some girl would cry again if he continued speaking. In short, this evening was not the usual irritation, but it was all avoidable. The others looked at each other in blank dismay, then nodded incredulously. By the way, where's the unicorn? Hagrid asked. Malfoy said you found it. I found it, but... Hermione gritted her teeth. Hagrid, you have to be mentally prepared. I guess that poor guy has no life. Chapter 66. Can you save the unicorn? You are listening at novelfull.audio. A few people followed Aaron back to the previous open space, where a unicorn as white as snow lay alone. There was a hideous wound on its neck, and silver blood flowed out continuously. Unicorn, is it dead? Harry asked, a little uncomfortable. I didn't have time to watch it just now, but now I regret seeing it. It's the first time I've seen a creature that can compare to my Abe in terms of appearance, but it's a pity that it has died. Aaron said as he walked up to the unicorn and wanted to close his unwilling eyes for it, but when his hand touched the unicorn's face, he felt a little wet. After looking carefully, I found that there were some crystal tears on the face of this holy creature, probably because it had suffered too much pain just now. Aaron sighed slightly and closed its eyes, but unexpectedly found an extremely weak breath in its nostrils. Wait, it seems to be alive. What? Hagrid was inexplicably excited, and quickly walked up to the unicorn, checking its condition. After a while, the joy on his face disappeared and was replaced by darker clouds than before. Good news, the unicorn is alive. Bad news, it's now back to life, on its last breath. Nothing could be worse for Hagrid than to witness the death of a wholly magical animal while being helpless. It's hopeless, this poor little guy probably won't live for half a minute. Hagrid stood up sadly, his eyes even flushed a little. I just lost Norbert, and now I'm about to lose another unicorn. My Merlin, why should I encounter this kind of thing in one day? Hagrid, calm down. Norbert can be said to be yours, but this unicorn. Hermione stopped suddenly in the middle of her words, because Hagrid was looking at her with red eyes, as if you said it again, I'd cry for you. Bury it. It's safe in the ground. Ron suggested. What a stupid suggestion. Draco said disdainfully, unicorns are treasures all over, not just for wizards, but for other creatures as well. Believe it or not, we buried him here tonight, and tomorrow there will be other magical creatures gnawing at his carcass. There is no shortage of dark creatures who can't eat enough in the Forbidden Forest. Among other things, the werewolf will definitely not miss this big meal. Then what do you say? Of course it was cremated. Is there any need to ask? No. Hagrid interrupted the two. This burial is too rude and not suitable for a holy unicorn. There are so many demands. Aaron said speechlessly, it's enough to bury it in another place, why think so much? If you don't mind, I can find a way to find a beautiful tomb for it. Don't worry, you can just pay me a hard fee when the time comes, so don't feel embarrassed. Hagrid froze for a moment. That's not necessary. I have a better idea. I can arrange for a few trustworthy friends to send the unicorn's body back to its clan, and its parents and elders will arrange its funeral. It still has a race? Aaron asked in surprise. Of course, there are more than 2 unicorns in the Forbidden Forest, but the number is very small, and they are generally not found. Hold on a second. Teeth. Hagrid beckoned to his dog, go get Ronan over here, you'll find him, won't you? Woof. Yaya yelled, turned around and left the open space. Hagrid, who is Ronan? Harry asked curiously, is there anyone else in the Forbidden Forest? You'll find out later. Hagrid had just put on an inscrutable look when Fong Fong's cry sounded again. The Neapolitan Mastiff turned back within 5 seconds of leaving, and if it wasn't for the tall figure behind it, they would all have thought it was Hagrid's prank. Who's there? Hagrid picked up his crossbow and aimed at the burly figure in the bushes. Come out, I'm carrying a weapon. Good evening, Hagrid. The figure walked to the open space, and under the illumination of the moonlight and lights, everyone could see its appearance clearly. The upper body is a human, the lower body is a horse, and there is a long tail behind it. Ronan, I just wanted to find you. Exactly, I just came here too. Ronan said while looking at his crossbow, you want to shoot me with an arrow? Misunderstanding. Hagrid put away the crossbow angrily, I didn't know it was you, and the nearest Forbidden Forest is not peaceful. Indeed. Ronan looked up at the stars in the sky, the sparks are very bright tonight. I have heard this sentence countless times, and you horse people always like to say this sentence. The sparks are bright tonight. Ronan, I have to tell you, we don't understand the revelations of the stars. Hagrid said angrily, just tell me why you came here. For the unicorn. Ronan glanced at the unicorn lying on the ground and completely out of breath, with a flash of sadness in his eyes, but now it seems that I am one step too late. Hagrid also sighed, forget about that, I want you to send this unicorn's body to its clan. in the entire Forbidden Forest, only you centaurs can find those few unicorns. I'll help, let the leaves return to their roots. Ronan said, looking at Harry Potter, to be more precise, looking at the scar on Harry's forehead. Are you a boy from the Potter family? You know me. Harry was a little flattered. He knew he was famous in the wizarding world, but it never occurred to him that even fantastic beasts had heard of him. Ronan looked up at the stars again. The astrological prophecy tells me that you will be in danger, of course not now, but at some point in the future. Prophecy? What does it mean? Can you make it clearer? Ronan looked at Harry with his dark blue eyes, hesitated for a while before saying, I can't go against God's will, but I can give you some other revelations, common sense that many people know. Unicorn blood can prolong human life, even when you are dying, but slaughtering a unicorn is a felony, because the price is so high. Slaughtering such a pure life for your own life, then from the moment its blood touches your lips, you are half-lived and cursed for the rest of your life. This is really interesting. Aaron said meaningfully, it's really unlucky that we can save a life tonight. Don't worry about being cursed, either you have already received a more serious curse, you are not afraid of itching when you have too many lice, or you are a desperado who is on the verge of death. Harry's face became a little heavy, and he understood Ronan's hint. Who would take the risk of slaughtering a unicorn at Hogwarts, tainting it with a curse in order to prolong its life? A normal person wouldn't live like a walking dead in order to prolong his life unless he had a chance to return to normal. Reminiscent of the magic stone that can make people live forever hidden in the school, he just felt that everything suddenly became clear. You mean? Harry paused suddenly, thinking that there were so many people here. He immediately changed his words. You mean that person is still alive, and he's at the school? You know the answer, you just don't want to accept it, don't you? It's crazy too. He has lost his humanity, be careful yourself. After finishing speaking, Ronan walked to the unicorn's body, ready to carry it on his back, although this movement is a little bit difficult for the centaur. After all, it is carrying the corpse of a unicorn, and if you are not careful, the corpse will slide down at any time. I leave it to you, Ronan, let's go. Hagrid turned around in pain, and the others were ready to follow him. After all, only Hagrid could give them a sense of security in the Forbidden Forest. Aaron just took his left foot, but he couldn't move his right foot. Turning around, his family's pet was biting his trouser leg, refusing to let go. What? Let go, we should go back. Abe didn't let go, but showed a pair of big watery eyes, and one paw was still pointing at the dead unicorn. What are you? Aaron seemed to understand something, smiled and shook his head. Don't be ridiculous, I am not related to it, there is no need to save it. Can you save it? Ronan looked at Aaron in disbelief, and then he noticed that Abe was biting his trouser leg. His blue eyes widened instantly, and he couldn't help but admire. Okay. Holy breath. Ronan looked up at the sky again, wanting to see the astrology prophecy of Aaron and his pet, but unexpectedly found that the very clear prophecy became somewhat blurred at this moment. The full moon in the sky also broke through the dark clouds, and the light of the stars seemed somewhat eclipsed by the moonlight. This kind of situation is difficult to come across. Either it is a problem with the celestial phenomena, or some kind of power is covering up his prophecy, but there is one thing he can be sure of. Yes, you do have the ability to revive this unicorn. Chapter 67 Kindness and Our Lady are two thing. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Everyone looked at Aaron in surprise, and Hagrid was even more excited. Can you really save this unicorn? No. Aaron shook his head decisively, denying it very simply. He does have a bottle of resurrection potion that can save lives that die within an hour, but he only has one bottle, and there may never be another bottle in the future. It is not worth using such a precious thing on a unicorn. Fantastic animals are indeed rare, and unicorns are pure, yes, but what does this have to do with him? There are so many dead lives, he can't save all of them, that's God's work. But Ronan has said so, and the centaur's prophecy has never been wrong. Hagrid said with some doubts. Who knows if this is slander, does it have evidence? Aaron replied unconvinced, even if it is not slander, who can guarantee that the centaurs will not misread the revelation of the stars? This. Hagrid hesitated, and looked at Ronan with a questioning look. Can you guarantee it? The centaur's prophecy is very accurate, but there have indeed been misunderstandings in the past. Look. Aaron spread his hands. This is a misunderstanding. I don't have the ability to resurrect unicorns. That's not necessarily true. Ron interrupted suddenly, pointing to Abe, who kept pulling him back at Aaron's feet. If it's fake, Abe shouldn't be so excited. The others turned their gazes to Aaron's feet and saw Abe holding Aaron's trouser leg stubbornly. They couldn't help but be a little more sure of Ronan's prophecy. Abe is just hungry. I didn't let him eat tonight, but if it continues like this, I think it is necessary to starve it for another 3 days. Aaron explained to everyone on the one hand, and on the other hand secretly threatened Abe's songpaw. Sure enough, after the words fell, Abe seemed to have heard something terrible, and quickly withdrew his claws. Aaron lifted it up bluntly. Am I being too kind to you? Abe nodded hastily, but seeing Aaron's plain eyes, he changed to shaking his head again. Go back and clean you up. You won't be hungry for 3 days, but you will have to cut down on your next meal. Hey! Abe let out an aggrieved cry, looked at the dead unicorn's body with some reluctance, and turned his head away cruelly. It tried its best, and even paid a painful price of cutting food for it, but it couldn't do anything if the master didn't agree. Abe still has a great affection for this magical creature full of pure aura, much stronger than Norbert, who is also a dragon. Seeing the unicorn die in front of him like this, it will inevitably feel a little bit sad, so it wants to try its best to fight for it. It is very aware of the existence of the resurrection potion, and once almost drank it as a drink, because its intuition told the dragon that the strong breath of life in it would be of great help to it. Naturally, he failed and was punished by Aaron instead. The amount of food for each meal was deducted by half for 3 days, and the feeling of going from extravagance to frugality was simply tormenting. Let's go. We should go back. Wait, Aaron. Hagrid stopped him and said, if you really have the ability to revive it, please. Don't talk nonsense. I don't have this ability. I understand. Hagrid frowned, and said meaningfully, if I had this ability, I wouldn't let others know, but here are all your own people, can you still not trust them? Moreover, what a pity that such a rare creature as the unicorn should die like this. The corner of Aaron's mouth twitched for a while. This is too taken for granted. He admitted that the first sentence made sense, but the rest was completely nonsense. Hagrid. Aaron looked at him sympathetically. You may have lost your mind because of Norbert's passing, and you were overly sad. Go back and sleep well, don't think about these messes. No, I'm not confused, I'm very sober. Hagrid said anxiously. Pull it down. Aaron rolled his eyes speechlessly, his gaze swept across Harry, Ron, and Hermione and finally fixed on Hagrid. Counting you, I was only deceived by 4 Gryffindors last night up. Don't tell me you forgot, the giant's memory isn't that bad. Ask yourself, if you were me, would you trust these 4 people? Hagrid opened his mouth, speechless. Harry and the others also lowered their heads in embarrassment, and Aaron said I don't trust you in front of their faces, which made them feel like they were dying, and they wanted to find a crack in the ground to sneak in. Then we can also avoid it for a while, and tell us not to wait until you save the unicorn. Ron whispered. Idiot. Draco said disdainfully. Aaron, ignore them, let's go, back to the Slytherin common room. Okay. Aaron said a little tiredly, and at this moment he couldn't wait to leave this place. The others subconsciously made way for Aaron and Draco, and they didn't have the nerve to stop them. Hagrid looked at the 2 people who walked 10 meters away, gritted his teeth in some struggle, and shouted, Are you really unwilling to save it? This unicorn is still young, and its parents are still waiting for it to come home in the clan. Call. Aaron stopped, raised his head and took a deep breath. It usually only took a second to go from speechless to angry. After putting Abe on the ground, he turned back and stared at Hagrid fiercely. You must be sick. You must stare at me, right? I have repeatedly emphasized that I have no ability to save it. Do you want to be so stubborn? But the centaur's horoscope and Abe's abnormality both indicate that you can save it. Hagrid said seriously, one may make mistakes, but it's impossible for both of them to make mistakes. Maybe it's just a coincidence. Aaron gritted his teeth and said, I know your feelings for magical animals, and I also sympathize with this little guy. But you have to recognize the reality. I know. Hagrid's face was covered with tears, his beard was wet, and he looked like a child whose relatives had died. Stop crying, how big is a giant, can't you control your tear ducts? The corners of Aaron's mouth twitched a little. In the past 2 days, he had seen more tears than he had in the 11 years before his life. Hagrid picked up a leaf and wiped his nose. I also understand that I am too whimsical, but when I think of this unicorn who is still young and has a family, I can't help being sad. If you really have no choice, forget it, but in case you have, and I don't insist, it is tantamount to giving up the chance to save it. It's a bad feeling, and you won't understand it. Snapped. Pretty. That's really good. Aaron clapped his hands. I understand why the school asked you to guard the Forbidden Forest. With your compassionate attitude, you definitely treat every magical animal as your own child. It made me feel embarrassed to lie to you, although I emphasized several times that you didn't believe it. Come on, let me tell the truth, I do have something that can save that unicorn, but I'm not going to save it. Why? Harry asked puzzled. You're not the kind of person who would refuse to save you. That's right, it's really accurate. You probably won't find a wizard as kind as I am in Hogwarts, but, Harry Potter, the good and Our Lady are two different things. What do you mean? Aaron sighed and took out a bottle of emerald green solution from his pocket. He opened the bottle, and a faint breath of life floated in the air, and some withered grass on the ground turned green almost at a speed visible to the naked eye. Seeing this, Aaron quickly closed the lid. If too much volatilization occurs, the effect of this bottle of medicine will decrease, and as the bottle was sealed, the nourished plants suddenly lost their nutrition and became wilted again. You have all seen that this stuff can bring living things back to life just by drinking it. Then hurry up. Hagrid said urgently. What's the rush? Aaron cleared his throat and said solemnly, this is a secret medicine passed down from generation to generation by the Gaius family, and I have the last one in my hand. In other words, it is used to save lives at critical moments, and it is a veritable priceless treasure. Now you let me use it to resurrect a unicorn that I have no connection with. Hagrid, do you think it's appropriate, reasonable? Hagrid stopped talking, and asked someone to use an heirloom to resurrect an irrelevant magical animal. He was ashamed and embarrassed to be such a free prostitute. Aaron gave a disdainful cut, and then looked at Harry Potter. If you were asked to donate all your wealth to help a homeless man you don't even know, would you agree? Harry shook his head feebly. If it wasn't for his parents' inheritance, he might not even be able to support himself. Donate, how can it be? Then it's over. It's easy to say that you are generous to others, but if you think about it from another perspective, you may reject it more simply and neatly than me. But that's a unicorn, Ron murmured. Huh? Which brother said it? Aaron said eccentrically, is the unicorn going to be superior to others? It's ridiculous. Draco understood instantly, and said with a contemptuous smile, who else can be but an idiot like Weasley? Malfoy, you. What? Are you not convinced? The value of this bottle of medicine is beyond all our imaginations, and you can't afford it if you sell your Weasleys. The unicorn is very precious, but there is nothing more precious than it. You are not qualified to replace Aaron in deciding who is more valuable to be saved. Chapter 68. Our ancestors still have this glorious deed. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The resurrection potion was Aaron's personal property, and it was unique. They had no right to let him give it away. Hagrid took a deep look at the unicorn lying on the ground, wiped away his tears unwillingly, and murmured, sorry. Hagrid. Ronan asked worriedly, are you all right? It's okay, I'll leave it to you next time. Hagrid waved his hand, and walked weakly towards the outside of the Forbidden Forest. The rest of the people looked at each other in blank dismay, but followed his pace closely. Wait, this, little wizard. Ronan called Aaron, looking at the pet beside him with some embarrassment. Can you let me see your pet? Ha! Can't, Abe is my private property, and it was only kidnapped yesterday. Who is it? Ronan the centaur was rarely angry. Who dares to kidnap such a sacred creature? This crime is the same as slaughtering a unicorn. Ron's heart skipped a beat, and he said bitterly, we won't be cursed, will we? Probably, no way. Harry felt a little unconfident. After all, from last night to tonight, the few of them had been suffering and hardly dared to see anyone, although this may be inseparable from Professor McGonagall deducting a large number of points from them. People with a guilty conscience may associate this with some kind of curse in their hearts. Hermione swallowed. What happened to her tonight made her feel that she must be cursed, otherwise she wouldn't be so unlucky and almost lost her life. Humph. Malfoy said gloatingly, I knew this earlier, so why bother? You. Ronan seemed to understand something. It was probably a prank among children, but he still put on a cold face. Curse is not possible, but you better not do it. Otherwise, there will be retribution. Ronan simply threatened, but the three of them looked at the stupid and cute Abe tacitly, and decided to treat this magical animal better in the days to come, and strive to lift this unnecessary curse as soon as possible. What are you waiting for? Hurry up and go, Hagrid urged. Here comes. Wait, wizard. Just as Aaron was about to leave, Ronan asked again, can you tell me your name? That's all right, Gaius, Aaron Gaius. Gaius? Are you from the Gaius family? Ronan was a little surprised, and then asked, what generation are you? This. I really didn't pay much attention. Aaron scratched his head in embarrassment. He has also read the family tree of the Gaius family, but his family tree is very different from other families. It is completely composed of several mind maps, the kind that makes people want to sleep at a glance. Aaron just saw his name on the last page and didn't pay much attention. Who has nothing to like to study the names and taboos of the ancestors of the past dynasties? No matter how idle you are, you won't be able to pass the time with genealogy. Wait, you know my family? Aaron asked curiously, how do you know? Are you surprised? Ronan smiled faintly. Actually, many centaurs know about the existence of the Gaius family. There was a war a long time ago. At that time, one of your ancestors fought side by side with the centaurs. He is one of the few humans who can ride on the back of a horseman. Aaron, fuck, our ancestors still have this glorious deed. Ronan looked at the dull Aaron, don't you know this history? Ahem. I'm only a 12-year-old child, how could I know so much? Ronan seemed to understand something. It's normal for you to know less. Loki is almost the label of your family. Anyway, Gaius, protect the little one in your arms. Its potential is much greater than you think, and it will become your right hand in the future. Aaron nodded. What do you need to say? Doesn't he know what the quality of this dragon cub is? After leaving the Forbidden Forest, Aaron solemnly warned the others not to tell about his possession of the resurrection potion, otherwise the consequences would be serious. Several people naturally nodded in agreement, but Hagrid's gaze was a little dodged. Aaron didn't care either. He just thought he was blaming himself for not saving the unicorn. Gryffindor common room. Harry didn't rush to sleep, but called Ron and Hermione to the fire, and told them his guess. It must be Voldemort in the Forbidden Forest. Ronan told me, he's staying alive on unicorn blood. Don't say that name, Ron whispered, as if worried that the Dark Lord would hear them. You mean the you-know-who is in the Forbidden Forest? Hermione couldn't help feeling that she had saved her life from Voldemort's hands. Right, that is it. Hermione, you have had close contact with him. How is his condition? Heir. I don't know what to say. The man in the black robe gave people such a strong sense of oppression. He was almost like a monster, and my legs were so frightened that my legs went limp. If Aaron hadn't saved me, none of you would have seen me. Hermione trembled when she recalled the scene where the man in black drank the blood of the unicorn, subconsciously lowered her head, and hugged the pillow in her arms tightly, but thinking of other things, she unconsciously showed a happy smile on her face. It turns out that fairy tales are not all made up. Hermione, Hermione. Harry waved his hand in front of her eyes, thinking she was afraid. It's nothing. Hermione came back to her senses, and her smile faded instantly. The mysterious man should be in poor condition, especially weak, otherwise he wouldn't drink unicorn blood to renew his life, but his strength is still very strong. I don't think he will be weaker than the school's professors. Harry couldn't deny it. I guess Voldemort. Can you stop saying that name? Ron said again, he's at Hogwarts now. Okay. Harry said helplessly, the mysterious man is fine, I really don't understand why so many people are afraid of this name. Not everyone survived a catastrophe like you. Before his accident, the shadow of the mysterious man enveloped the entire magic world. Almost no one dared to confront him. No, Aaron can do it. Hermione smiled, he cast 2 spells on that man in black today, and it hurts me to hear the screams. Oh. Not everyone has a bottle of potion that can bring people back to life like him, with that thing, who is afraid of death. Ron. Hermione glared at him, not everyone has the courage to face the mysterious man. Let's not talk about that, cough cough, the purpose of the mysterious man must be the Sorcerer's Stone, we were wrong, Snape didn't want to get rich with the Philosopher's Stone, he wasn't doing it for himself at all, his purpose of stealing the Sorcerer's Stone was to restore Voldemort's vitality with the elixir of life and make him come back. Harry, if the mysterious man comes back, will he kill you? Ron asked worriedly. Who knows? Harry slumped on the sofa weakly, without speaking, but they all knew that if Voldemort made a comeback, Harry would be the primary target of revenge, and his life would definitely be in jeopardy. Harry, things might not be that bad actually. Hermione comforted, don't forget, there is a powerful wizard in Hogwarts. Dumbledore, our headmaster, and the mysterious man in his heyday dare not stand up to him, as long as Dumbledore is around, he won't dare to make a move, and you are safe. Hearing this, the haze in Harry's heart was washed away a lot, and he felt a lot more relaxed. The next day, in the potion classroom, the students of Gryffindor and Slytherin were carefully preparing a hair growth potion, a potion that could restore hair volume within a week. Of course, the effect is temporary, and it will gradually return to its original state after a week. I don't know if it's an illusion, but Aaron always felt that Snape looked at him strangely. From this look, he read various emotions such as excitement, anxiety, embarrassment, etc. Those who didn't know thought that Snape was going to borrow money from him. More than half an hour later, Aaron completed the preparation of the potion, and inadvertently glanced at Snape, and unexpectedly read a hint of flattery in his eyes, which made him shiver suddenly. It really made him a little uncomfortable that a professor who was serious and majestic suddenly became like this. Could it be that they want him to rejoin the academy team? This is not good. With that training time, it is better to take a bath and have a good sleep. After class, Aaron picked up his pet and was about to leave, but Snape stopped him as soon as he stood up. Gaius, come to my office this afternoon. Can you tell me why? As agreed at the beginning, I will only participate in Quidditch once, and I made the promise in front of everyone on the academy team, and I'm not someone who backtracks. Snape's old face turned black. Since the academy team lost Aaron as a seeker, their strength has dropped significantly. After a few games, they were overwhelmed by Gryffindor. Snape regretted it at that time, but he also promised Aaron that he would only play one game, and he couldn't let him rejoin and revive the prestige of the Slytherin team. He could only watch Gryffindor find the ball hand. Harry Potter stole the limelight, but thinking about what to do next, Snape still squeezed out a stiff smile. I came to you to talk about something else, which has nothing to do with the academy team, so, make no mistake, and be sure to come. Chapter 69. You are listening at novelfull.audio. After class, Aaron came to the door of Snape's office with a feeling of apprehension. Looking at the familiar yet unfamiliar door, he stopped there. If it was normal, he would have gone in without hesitation, but today Snape was particularly abnormal, as if he was a different person, so he had to be vigilant. After a few seconds of silence, Aaron still knocked on the door. Suddenly, Snape's excited voice came from the office. Come in. Aaron entered the office, closed the door by the way, looked at Snape a little cautiously. Professor, what do you want from me? Sit first, sit first. Snape pushed Aaron into a chair, and got a glass of drink very casually. Be thirsty, let's have some butterbeer first. This is well received by young wizards, you'll love it. Gollum. Aaron swallowed, looked at the light yellow drink in front of him, and showed an awkward but polite smile, showing no intention of drinking at all. There must be a monster if things go wrong. He dared to bet Abe's food for the next month. Snape had never been so kind to people. Who knows if Snape has given some kind of potion to this drink? He is still in the stage of wretched development, and will be in this stage for a long time, so he dare not take risks. Professor, my mother has warned me more than once that children cannot drink alcohol, no matter how low the degree is. I can't not listen to my mother, she will be sad, so, don't drink this drink. Snape was taken aback, gave him a strange look, and took out another box, which contained all kinds of snacks, everything that one could expect. Cut. That's it? Aaron smiled coldly in his heart. Although he didn't know what Snape's purpose was, he didn't take him too seriously. Which student couldn't stand such a test? However, just when Aaron dismissed it, Abe in his arms was a little restless, with a pair of long eyes staring at the snack box and refusing to move away. Ahem. Aaron coughed lightly, and put one hand on its head. Can you restrain yourself a little? Don't pour halotzi on me. Professor, what do you mean? Don't wizard your age like that, said Snape. That is a wizard from an ordinary family. I have never tasted delicacies from mountains and seas since I grew up. To be honest, money is much more attractive to me than these things. Snape suddenly realized, and rummaged under the desk for a while, and took out a large box, which was full of galleons. When he opened it, the light of money flickered in front of Aaron's eyes, but he was completely unmoved, and the corners of his mouth still twitched. What are you kidding? Humiliate the Weasleys with money, and they'll beg to humiliate them more. But he was Gaius, and his family was never short of money. Snape's move was nothing short of an insult. Who could he look down on? However, Aaron also confirmed that Snape should have no conspiracy against him, otherwise he would not have used such extremely low-end methods. But he is courteous for nothing. He is either rape or steal. He definitely has his own purpose. This is the cash in my hand, and other assets are kept in Gringotts. Seeing that Aaron was indifferent, Snape hurriedly reported his net worth. I am also a master of potions, although I don't care much about money. But I have saved a lot over the years, and the amount will never disappoint you, at least dozens of times that in the box. Wait, stop. Aaron immediately waved his hand and looked at Snape meaningfully. Professor, tell me what you want from me, otherwise I will always feel a little baffled. And Professor, you should have never bribed anyone in your life. I can't even do what I like, and the honest group really makes me, a student, feel ashamed. Snape was silent for a long time before hesitatingly said, I heard from Hagrid that you have a potion that can bring people back from the dead. Aaron. Grass. Hagrid, did I dig up your giant's ancestral grave? Why do you have to fight me everywhere? Professor Snape. Aaron's face became serious. Who else knows about this except you? Do you really have a potion that can bring people back to life? Snape stood up excitedly, staring at Aaron with piercing eyes. Don't excite the professor, the usefulness of that thing is not as great as you think. Aaron explained. How can I not be excited? Aaron, give me the potion, I'm willing to pay any price to exchange it with you. Huh. It seems that Professor you have a very important person passed away. Snape didn't speak, just nodded slightly. So that bottle of potion is of no use to you. It can only revive the life of people who died within an hour. Aaron said regretfully. Are you serious? Certainly, except for emergency, who would carry such a precious thing with him? Most of the light in Snape's eyes disappeared immediately, and he sat down on the chair slowly, as if a basin of cold water had been poured on his heart, and he lost his mind. After a long time, he slowly stretched out his right hand. Take out the medicine and let me see. It's inappropriate. Aaron said with a sneer, it's my family heirloom, what if you snatch it away? Don't worry, I still have the integrity as a teacher, I won't do it if I grab something from a student. Furthermore, if the potion is really as you said, although it has extremely high value, it is still useless to me. Who knows? Aaron spread his hands, but refused to take out the things. The resurrection potion was his second life. Who would give his second life to others so easily? Even last night, he just took out the bottle, but it was always in his hands, and it could be put into the system space in seconds, and no one could snatch it. But in Snape's hands, it's hard to say. What if he suddenly gave up his conduct? Compared with a bottle of potion that can revive any life, integrity is nothing, not to mention that Snape is still a master of potions. How could this potion not appeal to him? Snape also seemed to see Aaron's scruples, and said lightly, "You have so many thoughts at such a young age, Aaron Gaius, it's hard for you to be so vigilant." "Hey! Where is it?" Aaron said embarrassedly, "Compared to what the professor did just now, I am only doing basic operations." "Okay. It's your freedom to show me or not, but, I need to remind you that I'm not the only one who knows about this." Aaron's heart skipped a beat, and he was no longer as calm as before. "How many people know?" Snape smiled without saying a word. "You also have times when you are in a hurry." Aaron gritted his teeth angrily. "Okay, I'll let you see it." "A wise decision." Snape proudly said, "I'm just researching it, and I'll give it to you as soon as I read it, and I promise that no news will get out. It's best, otherwise." Aaron looked at Abe helplessly. "Otherwise, I can only feed pets." "Are you crazy? You can't waste it like this." Snape said in astonishment, but the next second he figured out something. He couldn't help but nodded. "If everyone really knows about it, this might be the best way, otherwise, you will definitely become the target of public criticism, and countless troubles will come to you." "That's what I'm worried about. Everyone is innocent, but pregnant is guilty. But I still have a second method, which is to lock the medicine in the treasure house at home. The wizarding world will not offend a powerful family for a bottle of potion, because that thing seems rare, but it is actually useless to most people." Aaron said as he took out the emerald green bottle and carefully placed it on Snape's desk. Snape picked up the potion, opened the bottle cap, and a majestic breath of life gushed out immediately, making him feel refreshed, like lying on the lawn basking in the sun. But as the bottle cap was closed, that feeling disappeared in an instant. Snape shook his head with some regret. "You really didn't lie to me. This thing contains extremely powerful vitality. It can take back the life that has just died from the god of death. However, it is useless for people who have been dead for a long time. No matter how powerful their vitality is, they cannot be revived. At most, their bodies will not rot." "That's right." Aaron nodded and put the bottle away again. "But this alone can be called a priceless treasure, and according to my research, this bottle of potion is not only used as a single resurrection potion. People suffering from diseases can use it to cure or extend their lives. People without disasters and diseases can rely on it to prolong their lives, and more importantly, people who are seriously injured or even on the verge of death can use it to return to their prime. As luck would have it, there was exactly one person at Hogwarts who needed it." After Aaron's last words fell, Snape's pupils slightly dilated. "What do you know?" "What do I know?" Aaron asked, pretending to be skeptical. "Didn't Hagrid tell you that there are people in the Forbidden Forest drinking the blood of unicorns to renew their lives?" "I really didn't say that the law and order of Hogwarts is really bad, and this kind of monster can be allowed in." Chapter 70. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Aaron could clearly feel Snape's relief, and he was more sure that he knew that Voldemort might be at Hogwarts, and that he might be plotting the Philosopher's Stone, but he was also sure that Snape could never be Voldemort's accomplice. Otherwise his resurrection potion would never be preserved, because a Dark Lord in his heyday would definitely have the ability to take Snape from Hogwarts all over his body. Retreat. "Professor, can you now tell me who else knows about this?" Snape took a deep breath, smiled and looked at Aaron. "Don't worry too much, there are not many people who know, except for the people from last night. There are only 2. "That's okay, it won't be too troublesome to deal with." Aaron was relieved. As long as the other insider is not Professor Quirrell, his safety can still be guaranteed, but it couldn't be Quirrell at all. Voldemort used Quirrell's body to be cursed twice last night. Even if he didn't care about this injury, he still had to take care of Voldemort who was dying. It is estimated that apart from attending classes, he will try to minimize his public appearance and stay in the office. But the other insider is not as easy to talk to as I am," Snape said with a meaningful smile, pouring a big basin of cold water on Aaron's heart. "You have to go with me to the principal's office. Our principal is there wait for you." "Principal? Albus Dumbledore?" Aaron asked in astonishment. "He also knows." "What do you think?" "You know Hagrid too, although I don't like him." being able to hang out in Hogwarts for so many years has its unique features, it's just that he is too loyal to Dumbledore, and there are almost no secrets in front of him. After he came out of the Forbidden Forest last night, he went to the headmaster's office overnight. Very beautiful. Aaron's face was a bit bitter, and he wanted to cry. No one in Hogwarts is more difficult to deal with than Dumbledore. It's really troublesome. You seem to know him well. Snape asked curiously. I don't know what you have to do with him. Don't get me wrong, Professor, I am not familiar with the principal, and my understanding of Dumbledore is limited to the introduction in books. However, the ancestors of my family have summed up a treasure book, one of which is this: people who live longer have more experience, and it is difficult for you to guess their true thoughts. Snape raised his eyebrows. That's right. Right. This type of people is commonly known as the immortal. It's okay to meet those who are not well known, because they often have nothing to do with the world and just want to retire with peace of mind, but when you meet those famous and high-ranking old people, you should be more vigilant, because these people are old men, and if they are not careful, they may be sold out without knowing it. In a word, the heart of an old man is dirty. Snape clapped his hands with emotion. That's right, very right. If I had known this sentence before, I wouldn't have. Well, it's hard to say. Aaron, I have an unfeeling request. Can you show me your family treasure book? Impossible, you should die. Aaron refused without even thinking about it. That thick book is the ancestral precepts passed down by his family for thousands of years, and it has been continuously improved. It has no magical power, and it doesn't record any valuable spells. It's just an ordinary book, but it's not something outsiders can read casually. Okay. I was being rude, said Snape, before opening the door. Come with me. Professor, can I not go? Of course, I'm happy with it too, but if Dumbledore doesn't wait for you, he may take the initiative to find you next. Then I'd better go. The two came to the 8th floor of the castle, and Aaron followed Snape and stood in front of a gargoyle. Lemon tea. Snape read out the command, and the gargoyle jumped aside. The wall behind it split in two, and a spiral staircase slowly moved upwards appeared, coming to a door through the stairs. Snape pushed the door directly and entered. Principal, I have brought the person you are looking for. Thank you. Dumbledore was arranging the bookshelves on the stairs with his back to the two. Aaron Gaius, you are the first student to come to my office this semester. I'm flattered. Aaron said with a half-smile. He looked at the circular room and had to admit that it was much better than Snape's office. It is more spacious and bright, without the smell of various potions mixed together. There are all kinds of silver utensils on the lockers, and the portraits of the principals on the walls, through which you can see the voices and smiles of these celebrities, although they are just a group of bad old men who have passed away, being placed here by the contemporary White Demon King is enough to prove their ability in life. There was a gilded perch on the desk, and a strange bird covered in red feathers stood on it, staring at Abe with sharp eyes, as if he had discovered something interesting. Abe also looked at this strange bird curiously. His clever eyes became more colorful, and then, he wiped the corner of his mouth without disappointment. He also saw the snoozing Sorting Hat on the shelf, and a giant waving at him with an awkward smile. Giant? Huge, grass. Hagrid. Aaron immediately felt relieved, and looked at him angrily. He had already pulled out the black wand. Hagrid trembled in his heart, and slowly moved towards Dumbledore, for fear that Aaron would not be able to restrain him from casting a spell on him. He also knew that what he had done was not kind, but such a major event had happened in the Forbidden Forest. For the safety of Hogwarts, he could only report to Dumbledore. For a rigorous person like him, the details can't be missed. What are you hiding from? I won't hit you. That's not sure. Hagrid said guiltily. You still know. Aaron sneered. It's only right for me to beat you up for the things I did to you. If I can't beat you, feel sorry. I've heard those two words too many times recently. Hagrid, I just want to ask you, what exactly did I offend you, and you want to be targeted everywhere? This. Hagrid dodged his eyes, and explained in a panic. Actually, this is really just a misunderstanding, and I didn't mean it. Do you think I'll believe it? Okay. Dumbledore walked slowly down the stairs. It doesn't matter if it was intentional or not. Aaron, you're a smart kid and should know what I mean. I know. Aaron gave Hagrid a hard look. Things have already happened, and it doesn't make much sense to keep holding on to someone. Thank you. Don't be too quick to thank, Hagrid, you'd better manage your mouth and think twice before you speak. I see. Aaron shook his head, not counting on Hagrid's promise. Please sit down. Mr. Gaius. Dumbledore sat at the desk and looked at Aaron with a smile. Aaron wasn't embarrassed either. He picked up Abe, who was on the ground, and sat on the chair. Professor, what can you do for me? Didn't Professor Snape tell you? Dumbledore asked meaningfully. I thought you knew. What he said and what you said are two different things. All right. Hagrid told me about some of the things that happened last night, including how the unicorn was attacked by the men in black, and how you had a bottle of a very special potion. Dumbledore paused slightly as he spoke. Aaron, can you show me that bottle of potion? I'm very sorry, I'm afraid it can't be done. Aaron said seriously. Principal, I've seen it. Snape looked serious. The effect is very strong, it's unbelievable. It can instantly restore the dying person to the best condition, and even revive the life of the recently dead. But there is nothing that can be done about a life that has been dead for a long time. Dumbledore's eyes froze when he heard the words, but he quickly returned to normal, and smiled softly. This is already remarkable. Professor Dumbledore, please forgive me if you want to know about my potion. That bottle has been opened twice since yesterday, and a small amount has evaporated. Don't get me wrong, I didn't mean that. Dumbledore said with a smile, what I want to say is, can you give me that bottle of potion for safekeeping? What? Aaron was dumbfounded. What do you mean? Others just take a look at it, so how can you make an inch of it when you come here? You are the White Demon King, you are powerful, but you can't bully others. Professor, I may have misheard. Aaron frowned. You mean to ask me to give the resurrection potion to you for safekeeping? Unfortunately, you heard me right. Dumbledore felt embarrassed to force a junior like this, but thinking of his plan, he still had the cheek to make this request. Give me a reason, or why? Aaron said lightly, even if you are the principal, you have no right to force students to hand in their own things. The other people in the office looked at each other in blank dismay. They didn't expect Aaron to be so stubborn in front of the principal. Aaron, you also saw last night that there is a black-robed man hiding in Hogwarts. He's dangerous, and desperately needs to replenish his vitality, so, it's for your safety too. I can guarantee that the original will be returned after the holiday.